Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump just continues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. Toadstool Sports. It is Sunday, April 26th. Not a great day yesterday on the show, 2-2, but of course one of the losses was one of those beefy favorites, so it was a losing day yesterday. Seattle got there, I guess, kind of luckily, but Brian Wu was just awful in that game. Like, that really, really hurt. Like, that was part of the handicap. You did not expect Brian Wu to have his worst game of his career against a mediocre at best lineup in a pitcher-friendly park. That made no sense. Seattle's offense definitely showed up to the party, and the good thing is we had Seattle's bullpen in the back pocket there as part of that handicap. They have the better bullpen, so that's how they won. We got it done with a very high-scoring game. The White Sox could not get it done. They were down 2-0 at the end of the 5th inning. They just could not score, dude. Noah Schultz was fine, but White Sox not being able to touch Jake Irvin, I don't know what to tell you, man. That was just, what can you do about it? The first game of the day we got right with the NBA, getting us to 3 in a row correct in the NBA playoffs with the over in Pistons Magic. That hit. It went over the higher numbers, too. So if you played it at 214.5, whatever, 215, you still got it right. I think it landed 218, so everybody can be happy about that one. And then I don't know what to tell you about the Nuggets, dude. The Nuggets were looking pretty good. They were winning the majority of the game. Like, it was not a huge lead, but they were winning into the second half, into the third quarter. They had, like, the worst fourth quarter that maybe you'll ever see. I don't know what that was. It was just a complete implosion from Denver in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's, is Jokic too old now? Is he getting tired at the end of games? Do they need to manage the players a little bit differently, manage their rest differently, and make sure that he's fresh when the game really matters? I don't know. Denver has some real problems playing against Minnesota, dude, although I expected this series to be close. I thought it could be like a 7-game series. I expected Denver to come out of it. That's not going to happen now. I don't think Denver's going to come back from down 3-1. I don't think they're going to win the remaining 3 games. I think they might win the next game, but dude, it's not looking very good. I don't know, man. Minnesota, they're definitely an underseeded 6 seed, though. I will tell you that. But the Western Conference, dude, I don't know, man. I don't see anybody getting by Oklahoma City. I do not. It's the way that it is. I thought it was a really good spot to grab Denver there. I'm not happy. I lost money on it. But we're going to move on to today. I'm trying to be selective. I got one play in each sport today, being really selective in baseball. I do not love the baseball board at all. We're going to talk about it all. Let's try to get some wins. Hindian, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Kyle, thanks for hanging out, everybody. What's up? Let's get into it, man. I don't want to have this video take too long, but we have a lot of baseball. There's a little bit of extra baseball because there is a doubleheader because of the rain out yesterday. Boston at Baltimore, my Boston Red Sox. Ooh, boy. What do we got to say about the Red Sox here, man? They scored more runs yesterday than they had scored on the entire season. I think that's actually true. They won 17-1 yesterday. So, hey, Garrett Crochet gave them a good start. They got the win. But, could you disperse those runs out across the season a little bit? Why do you have to score more runs than you've scored all season in one fucking game and you get one win out of it? Whatever. Now, I don't like to play on teams that won 17-1. I do not like to play on them in the next game. But there are some reasons to maybe like the Red Sox here. One is they just broke a losing streak. And I talk about that. When a team ends a losing streak, that momentum can carry over. But, of course, the big news is the Red Sox fired Alex Cora. Finally, they listened to me. He should have been gone years ago. Cora is gone. They fired the hitting coach, I think, a couple of hitting coaches. They reassigned Jason Varitek, so he's not going to be the whatever he was, the dugout coach anymore, bench coach, whatever the hell. Yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. They kept Andrew Bailey, which I did not love, but that's because he's Craig Breslow's guy, and I think he was, I don't know, they pitched together probably when they were in the majors. I don't know, but Bailey is still there. I don't love that, but obviously the Red Sox fundamentals and hitting have been a major problem. And I talk about this. When a team fires their coach or manager, sometimes it'll fire the team up because maybe they don't like the guy anymore. They're not playing well for him. It seemed like Cora had no control over this team, dude. The fundamentals have been so bad for years, and I keep saying that is a coaching issue. Get rid of Cora. Stop, harping on the fact that they won the 2018 World Series with him as manager. I don't care. They had an outstanding roster. It was stacked that year. And this roster I don't think is that bad. And people are saying that it's really bad. I disagree. We'll see what happens, man. So the Red Sox, interestingly, they're bringing up all the AAA guys. So Chad Tracy, former Major League third baseman, is the Woo Sox manager, or was the Worcester Red Sox manager, formerly the Paw Sox. Used to go to some of those Paw Sox games back in the day, man, with my dad as a kid, because they were cheaper, but the stadium was fun to go to, even though it was in a terrible area. The stadium was nice. The Worcester one, I think, is also nice and in a terrible area. Anyway, what was I about to say? Yeah, so they brought up Chad Tracy. I think he's going to be the interim manager, and they brought up some of his other guys, and that might not be a bad thing because the Red Sox have a young core here, and a lot of these guys played on the AAA team under those guys, so they might have some chemistry with those guys already. So I think this is, maybe it's not a bad thing. Will that help the Red Sox here? I don't know, dude. I think in the long run, I think they had to get rid of Cora. I don't know what they're going to do in the offseason. I don't know if they could save this season. As far as this actual matchup, though, I don't know how much I love it. Baltimore used 3 relief pitchers yesterday. Red Sox also used 3. Red Sox do have the better, I think they have the slightly better bullpen. Baltimore's bullpen ERA is definitely worse, although their whip is better. They're both in the top 7 in bullpen whip, but I think the Red Sox do have a slightly better bullpen at the very least. Baltimore has the better offense. They're 9th right now in OPS. Red Sox, even after yesterday's explosion, are still 27th, which is ridiculous. Starting pitching, Connolly early pitching for the Red Sox. He's had an issue with walks. He's been pretty good otherwise. Definitely a talented young pitcher, knows how to locate his pitches. He relies on command. He doesn't overpower guys with his fastball. 2.88 ERA, 1.32 whip. That whip is a little bit too high, and again, it's because too many walks, multiple walks in every outing. He's got to settle that down a little bit, but he has only allowed more than 2 earned runs once in his last outing against the Yankees, who are a very good offense. 24-13 strikeout walk ratio, though, that's the problem. The walks are the problem. Got to get that number down. 20 hits allowed in 25 innings is good. He might pitch well. Baltimore's never seen him before. I talk about these young pitchers that are good. Offenses that haven't seen them before sometimes don't do well against them. So he definitely could potentially pitch well here. Kyle Bradish is pitching for the Orioles. 3.96 ERA, pretty good, but his whip is very high, 1.76. But I think it's being skewed to some extent here. Well, maybe not really. Actually, I'm wrong about that. I thought he had one start where he gave up a lot of base runners, but I'm actually wrong about that. He's walked 3 guys apiece in every outing except one. That's not a great sign. He's definitely walking way too many guys. Strikeout rate is good, 28 in 25 innings, but 31 hits allowed on top of 13 walks. That's bad. So at least with Connolly early, he's not that easy to hit. Bradish has been giving up too many hits and too many walks. So Early has definitely outpitched Bradish this year. Bradish does have good numbers against the Red Sox in 47 at-bats, 19-2 strikeout-walk ratio, 191 batting average allowed, 693 OPS. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I trust Bradish, but the money is coming in on Baltimore. The argument for Baltimore mostly, I think, would be the bounce back after getting blown out yesterday. But again, I gave you some situational angles that do support the Red Sox, breaking out of the losing streak, the fired coach phenomenon, 56% of tickets, 88% of the cash on Baltimore. I might lean under in this game. I mean, we didn't see too much bullpen usage yesterday. Both starting pitchers seem to have a little bit of a matchup advantage here, in my opinion. And I think they're both at least decent, even though I know Bradish is a little bit worrisome, some of these numbers. Even Early, yeah, the walk numbers are definitely a concern here. But 76% of the tickets and 70% of the cash on the over. Total is low, and it's dropping for a reason. It's at 7.5, headed lower than that. It's that way for a reason. Under kind of makes sense to me, especially after the Red Sox having a massive offensive explosion. I'm not sure the offense that's been so bad all year is just going to continue hitting like that into another game, So, yeah, I probably prefer under in that game if I was going to do anything with that. Yes, I am happy about that. Red Sox cleaning house. Josh, what's up? Yes. Wait, wasted all comeback magic? What are we talking about? I don't know what we're talking about. You had the Cubs yesterday. Who were the Cubs playing yesterday? I don't even remember. They were playing the Phillies. No, Phillies are playing Atlanta. Cubs against the Dodgers, right? I don't remember. What was the pitching matchup in that game? I don't remember. I don't know what I had to say about that game. I don't remember at all. I would not have put my money on Colin Ray. I would not have had my money on that guy. No way. 7-1 is a good run, though. All right. Philadelphia is at Atlanta, and Philadelphia finally won yesterday. So, again, I'm going to point out, well, first of all, Zach Wheeler being back in the rotation is definitely going to help them. I haven't looked at his pitching line in that game, but they won the game at the very least. They ended a losing streak, and just like with the Mets, these long losing streaks, when a team ends that losing streak, it gives them new momentum coming into the next game. It is a positive because you finally break out. You finally get that monkey off your back. It happened with the Mets. They won a second game after they ended the losing streak. Philadelphia definitely has the ability to do that here. So they have a little bit of momentum here. But the matchup, we're going to look at that matchup here. It doesn't look that good for them. Philadelphia used most of their relief pitchers yesterday. They used 5, and their bullpen is kind of questionable, so that's not a good sign. Atlanta only used 3, and Atlanta has had one of the best bullpens in baseball this year. I think they're probably not quite the best. I think Texas and San Diego's are better, but Atlanta is up there. They're number 1 in whip right now. Philadelphia is 18th. And they have like a mid-4s ERA. Atlanta definitely has the better bullpen, and it's more rested. Atlanta's been the better hitting team this year, too, at 3rd in OPS, although Philadelphia, 3rd worst. I mean, really, I think Philadelphia is not going to wind up that bad offensively. I think they're going to wind up at least a mediocre offense. Problem with Philadelphia, though, even though, yes, they might have momentum off of finally getting a win, they got Aaron Nola pitching, and he's a little bit of a concern, I think. I mean, he had that Tommy John surgery kind of later in his career. Didn't really pitch that well last year. Started pitching better at the end of the year. Numbers this year, not very good. 5.06 ERA, 1.46 whip. Last outing was pretty bad at the Cubs. Didn't last 5 innings. Gave up 5 earned runs, 4 walks. Now, the good news is the Cubs are a good offense, and he was facing them a second start in a row, so they were very familiar with them. So you might be able to say, yeah, maybe we could give him a little bit of a pass for some of those numbers there. His overall numbers don't look that bad to me. 29 to 10 strikeout walk ratio. It is too many walks. 29 hits allowed in 26 to 2/3 innings. It's too many, but it's not horrible to me. Against the Braves, though, he does not have very good numbers. They've seen a ton of him. 338 at bats, 88 to 27 strikeout walk ratio, 290 average, 899 OPS allowed. So that, I don't like that, obviously, that Nola is very familiar to the Cubs. Even when he was in the better stages of his career, the Braves. Even when Nola was at the better stages of his career, these Braves hitters were able to hit him. So that's not a great sign. And it's probably a worse sign that he has to face Chris Sale here, because Chris Sale is still pitching at a very high level. 2.79 ERA, 1 whip this year, 29 to 7 strikeout walk ratio, 22 hits allowed in 29 innings. Yeah, this is good stuff from Sale here, except for 5 home runs allowed. But he's only had 1 bad outing against Anaheim on the road, and if you throw that out, he's been really good at home, but all of his other starts, besides that Anaheim one, he's allowed 1 or 0 earned runs. That's some good stuff. But he did just face Philadelphia, so Philadelphia is familiar with him. He faced them in his last start. He did really well on the road. 7 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits allowed. He doesn't need to be quite that good here to get the win, obviously, or for his team to win. His numbers against Philadelphia are good overall. Philadelphia is familiar with them, so I don't know that the fact they just played against them, that's going to help them that much. 93 at bats, 34 to 5 strikeout walk ratio against them, 237 batting average allowed, 663 OPS. Yeah, these are good numbers for Sale. Did Nola just face the Braves too? Hold on, let me see. He didn't, right? Yeah, so I guess that's a little bit of an edge, maybe, but really, again, it doesn't matter when you're talking about these two pitchers that have been around for so long, and the hitters have all seen these guys before. So I don't think the fact that Sale just faced Philadelphia really matters that much. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably lean Atlanta here, but they're laying minus 179. 83% of tickets, 97% of the cash on Atlanta. I know Philadelphia does have that new momentum, having broken the losing streak. Both teams probably are going to want to try to win this game, though, because they've split the series so far. So this is to win the series. 83% of tickets, 97% of the cash on Atlanta. They're definitely public, which worries me. But, you could lay a -1 run line on that, I guess. Maybe that's the way I would lean. Sale does seem to still have a pretty decent matchup edge there. But not going to be on my card for sure. I would not put that on my card personally. Cleveland at Toronto. These teams have split the series as well, so this is to win the series. Toronto won the game yesterday. As far as the bullpen usage, Toronto used 3 relievers. Neither of these bullpens are really that good this year either, even though Cleveland's was actually pretty good last year, despite losing a couple of their guys to gambling and I forget what else, including their closer. Cleveland used 3 relief pitchers yesterday as well. The bullpens haven't really been that great, though. Cleveland is 13th in whip. Their ERA is really bad. It's in the high 4s. Toronto's is in the mid to high 4s, 17th in whip. I can't really trust these bullpens here. The hitting hasn't been that great on either side, really, either. The Blue Jays have started to come around a little bit, 17th right now in hitting as far as OPS. Cleveland 20th, not expected to have a really good offense from Cleveland this year. Slade Ciccone is pitching for Cleveland. He has struggled this year, 6.2 ERA, 1.58 whip. That's not good. Way too many walks, 20 to 12 strikeout walk ratio, 5 home runs allowed, 27 hits allowed in 24 and 2/3 innings. Those are bad numbers. He just got rocked by Houston in his last outing. Cleveland has lost all 5 of his outings this season. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to back a guy like this, man, even though I think he's not as bad as these numbers look right now. I think he does have room for improvement, but right now I would not want to back him. The good news is Toronto only has one hitter who's ever seen him before, Lennon Sosa, but he is 1 for 5 with a home run off him and a strikeout. But Ciccone is unfamiliar to Toronto, so that might be a little bit of an advantage to him because they have to figure him out. He is going up against Patrick Corbin, who, I thought Patrick Corbin's career was over a couple of years ago, and then Texas kind of resurrected him a little bit, and he pitched well for most of the season last year, started falling off at the end of the year. He's actually done well with Toronto this year. It is so hard for me to figure out Corbin, dude, because at one point it looks like this guy's career should have been over 3 years ago, and then he'll be pitching well in the next game. How do you figure this guy out? I have no idea. This year he has a 3.68 ERA, 1.09 whip. These are good numbers. I mean, he had one kind of bad start in his first start against Minnesota, and then he had 2 pretty good starts after that. Not really going deep into games, though. Has not made it 6 innings in any of them, but overall his numbers are fine. 12-4 strikeout walk ratio, 12 hits allowed in 14 2/3 innings. But he is Patrick Corbin, so he is liable to have a bad game at any point. I don't know if it's going to happen here. I mean, Cleveland doesn't have a great offense. His numbers against them are mediocre. In 83 at-bats, 19-10 strikeout walk ratio. That's too many walks, obviously. 253 batting average allowed, 815 OPS. The OPS is high. But if you look into the numbers, really it's Rhys Hoskins does all the damage against him. 11 for 36 with 4 home runs and 4 walks against him, and also 10 strikeouts and 4 doubles. So if he's able to pitch around Hoskins, he might pitch fine here. Hoskins, possible player prop potential there if you want him. I want nothing to do with this game, man. I mean, looking at this starting pitching matchup and plus the bad bullpens, my feeling on this game was over. But the money is not really agreeing with that. The total flipped to 8.5, juice to the under. 79% of tickets, 63% of the cash on the over. So the money is indicating on the under. I don't really think I agree. I don't know. The game seems over-ish to me. Don't really trust either starting pitcher. I don't personally. I would not trust them to be my friends, man. No. Toronto is a minus 131 favorite. 69% of tickets, 96% of the cash on them. So the money is indicating on Toronto. I could see that. I mean, Corbin is in the better form over Ciccone right now. I mean, I don't know. The bullpens are a bit of a wash. I don't have a good feel for the game, though. It's one of those games where they're just, I don't know. I think too many things going around in my head. Like, how is this game going to go? Colorado at the Mets have to play a doubleheader, and Colorado won the first game 2 days ago. So the Mets, their win streak did not last long. They won 2 games, and then they became the Mets again. But the Mets are clearly the better team, and they have a really, really advantageous pitching matchup in this first game, which is not going to be the pitching matchup that was supposed to happen yesterday. So Quintana was supposed to face Senga yesterday. Quintana is going to pitch in Game 1 today, and Senga is pitching Game 2 tonight. So they've been split up, which happens a lot. Got to keep them separated. Anyway, this pitching matchup is really, really, I think, beneficial to the Mets here. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. I mean, not entirely, but I do think it is. The Mets might be in bounce-back mode here because nobody wants to lose to the Colorado Rockies. Mets being the better team, having lost the previous game, there is something to be said for that. And now, because both teams didn't play yesterday, the bullpens have rest because they didn't have to pitch yesterday. So that is a little bit of a factor. Both bullpens have been mediocre, I would say. The Mets are 15th, Colorado 11th somehow in bullpen whip, although I kind of think the Mets sort of have the better bullpen, but I don't know, man, because they got a couple of those Yankees arms from last year, and Devin Williams, like those guys, he's not good, dude. So I don't know. But the Rockies, I think their bullpen is going to take a step back at some point too. Maybe we just don't trust either bullpen fully here. The Rockies have had the better offense. The Mets' offense is still ranked last in OPS. They've been really, really struggling. But again, they have had Soto back for, I don't know, 3 or 4 games now. Rockies are at 11th, but I think their offense is going to kind of fall off a little bit. They are better at home as well, and that's not where they are here. Jose Quintana pitching for the Rockies, not having a good season, man. He's remained effective over the last couple of years, which is why he has stuck in the league. He's a veteran pitcher. He's never been a guy that relies on blowing guys away. That almost sounded bad, but he's like a command pitcher. Tries to get guys to hit soft contact. He might get a little bit better than this because his recent seasons he's had okay numbers. 6.23 ERA though, 1.85 WHIP. He's definitely struggling this year. The strikeout walk ratio is really bad, 4-9. I know he's not a strikeout guy, but 9 walks and 15 hits allowed in 13 innings. That's not going to cut it. And the Rockies have lost all 3 of his games so far, and 2 of them have been away from Coors Field. But he did face Miami, Houston, the Dodgers. All those teams have actually hit well this year. You know who's not hitting well is the New York Mets. So this is actually going to be probably the weakest offense that he's facing. His numbers are actually pretty good against the Mets, although remember, some of this is from earlier in his career. 78 at-bats, 16-7 strikeout walk ratio is not very impressive, but again, he doesn't strike many guys out. 244 batting average, 652 OPS. Those numbers are not bad, so it is possible he does actually pitch a little bit better here. The problem is he's going up against Nolan McLean, who I think might be the Mets' best starting pitcher. I mean, I think he is. Who else would it be? Even though he was a rookie last year and didn't even pitch a full season last year. He's been really good, though. 2.67 ERA, 0.76 WHIP this year. 10 strikeouts in his last outing, in addition to 8 in each of the prior 2 starts. And he was facing, Arizona, the Dodgers, in a couple of those outings. He hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any outing. 38-8 strikeout walk ratio and only 15 hits allowed in 30 1/3 innings. Yeah, this guy, I'm pretty sure he's the real deal, man. These numbers are really good. His command is good. He's fooling major league hitters. Not very hittable at all. What else can we say, man? McLean. Here we go. And of course the Rockies have never faced it before, and they're having to hit away from home, so he should do well here. Again, the unfamiliarity should just boost him a little bit in this game and give him a little bit of an extra advantage. I would not want to fade McLean here, man. I think the Mets should win this game. The problem is they're minus 207, so how do you really attack this? 91% of tickets, 98% of the cash on the Mets. I don't know, man. And the money seems to be kind of indicating towards the under, believe it or not. The total's at 7.5, even though I don't fully trust these bullpens. Quintana is getting some respect with that total being at 7.5. Part of it might be because both offenses are really bad. I don't know how much we could really trust Quintana, though. Again, he hasn't pitched well this year, but some of the matchup stuff does indicate that he might do okay here. I think maybe the better approach here is to actually go Rockies under their team total, because I think the more predictable part of this is that McLean should go out there and do well, man, and save the day. That's a diehard reference, right? Am I losing my mind? John McClane? Yes, I think it's, maybe the Mets will not die hard in this game. I don't know, man. It would be hilarious if there was a Japanese pitcher named Nakatomi and he had to go up against McLean. That would be pretty awesome. Anyway, or if he went up against a pitcher named Gruber. Anyway, I'm losing my mind here. But yes, I would say maybe Colorado under their team total makes some sense. You're going to need them to be held to a really low total, though, like maybe 2, and you're going to need the Mets bullpen to keep that intact somehow. It seems a little bit risky to me. I guess you could go Mets, run line here, but you have to lay minus 1.5 with a low total, and the professionals will tell you, you shouldn't really do that because the home team might not bat in the 9th inning. I've done it before. I've done it this year. I use it very sparingly, though. I don't think I would want to use it here in a game with a low total like this, but I think the Mets should win the game. I hate parlays, but again, if you want a money line parlay the Mets with something, That makes sense to me as well. Detroit at Cincinnati. Oh, actually, hold on. I'll talk about the other game in the doubleheader because it's really hard to figure it out because we don't know who Colorado is going to have starting the game. And we don't know what the bullpens are going to be like, right? So it's really hard to gauge these game twos in the morning. A lot of it's going to depend on the bullpen usage from the first game, although generally you can kind of say, yeah, these bullpens might be a little bit tired in this game, or some of the better relievers might not be available. You can kind of guess that might be the case, but it's a little bit of a guessing game. Colorado, we don't know who's starting for them unless they listed it. No, they did not. But the Mets are minus 175 here. Total is 7.5 in this game. You know what? 7.5. I would just, if you want to have any action on this game right now, if you're that much of a degenerate, I would probably play this over. The bullpens are not that trustworthy. We don't know what usage they're going to have, but it's going to be something in the first game. Whoever Colorado's going to throw out there is probably not going to be good, and I don't think Kodai Senga is that good, so I could see that total looks way too low to me. You're telling me that this total is the same as in Game 1? Game 1 is Nolan McLean on the mound, dude. What are we doing here? Senga has been awful this year. 8.83 ERA, 1.9 whip. He's not this bad, but he's definitely pretty questionable, dude. He's got a good strikeout rate, 22 strikeouts in 17 1/3 innings, but 10 walks allowed, really bad, and 23 hits. Really bad stuff here. He's failed to make it 5 innings in his last 2 outings, gotten absolutely blown up in both of them, at home against the A's and on the road at Wrigley, which that might have been like a wind blowing out Wrigley game, but still, he's walked multiple guys in every outing. I don't think I would be able to trust him. His numbers against Colorado are actually good, though, so, that does counter that a bit. They have 36 at-bats against him, 14 strikeouts, 5 walks, 139 average, 577 OPS. So Senga does have good matchup numbers at the very least. I want nothing to do with this game. I'm not going to have anything on this game, but part of the reason why the total is low, though, is, again, both offenses are just not good, at least right now. Though, again, I think the Mets are going to start showing that their offense is better than this at some point, though. So we will see. All right, we got to keep it going, man. Half hour in, and we've barely gotten into this at all. Detroit at Cincinnati. These teams, Cincinnati's on the verge of a sweep. Cincinnati continues to have a good record here, but dude, I still think Cincinnati's going to regress because they keep winning a lot of close games. In this series, one of the games was close. Yesterday was a blowout win for Cincinnati. Now, I talk about this when a team is trying to avoid the sweep, which in this case is Detroit, and I think they're the better overall team. A lot of times you want to look towards that team trying to avoid the sweep, especially if they're the better team, because they put in more motivation, and you're getting the better team more motivated. I don't really see Cincinnati looking ahead to the Rockies next, though, so, not really a look-ahead spot for them here. Bullpen usage. Cincinnati did use a lot. They used 4 relief pitchers. They didn't use them for that many pitches, though. So I guess theoretically some of them might still be available here. Detroit had some heavy usage yesterday. 4 relief pitchers with more pitches being thrown from them. Detroit also has not really been good out of the bullpen this year. They're 26th in bullpen whip, and their ERA is in the mid-4s. I think they're not quite as bad as these bullpens that are surrounding them here, but they have not been a very good bullpen. The Reds have had one of the best bullpen ERAs. They have the best bullpen ERA somehow. I don't think they're the best bullpen. They're 12th in whip, but I think they're at least a mediocre bullpen and probably the better of the two. Detroit does have the better offense. The Reds have struggled offensively. They're at 25th. Detroit is 6th. So, yeah, Detroit definitely has the better hitting. Keter Montero is pitching for Detroit. He's actually been pretty good this year. 3.68 ERA, 0.91 whip. He's a guy that a lot of times they would have an opener open in front of him and whatever, but they seem to kind of just be using him as a starter now. I think he has, I would have to dive in, but I think he has actually just started most of these games this year, and he's pitched fine. He's allowed 4 or fewer earned runs in every outing, 18-3 strikeout walk ratio, good command, 17 hits allowed in 22 innings. Yeah, these numbers are pretty good, dude. He's not bad. Going against the Reds, though, they only have 15 at-bats against him, 2 strikeouts, no walks, but they have hit 400 off him, 1,200 OPS. De La Cruz and Friedel both have home runs off him. Friedel, however you pronounce his name. Dreidel. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much weight to really put into this, though, because it's such a small sample size. And Keter Montero, that was earlier in his career. He is starting to pitch a bit better now. So I think he certainly is capable of pitching well here. It is a hitter-friendly ballpark, though. Rhett Lauder is pitching for Cincinnati. He's done pretty well this year. 3.1 ERA, 1.14 whip. 18-9 strikeout walk ratio is a little bit of a concern, though. Really, it's just that he doesn't strike out that many guys, though. Even though the way that he looks, you'd think he would be a strikeout guy, but he's not. So the walk number isn't really that bad. It's the strikeout rate is low. But he's also only allowed 24 hits in 29 innings, so he hasn't been very hittable, and the Reds have won 4 of his 5 outings. And he has never been seen before by Detroit, so he has the unfamiliarity edge against Detroit there. Interesting matchup here, so that might give him a little bit of an extra edge. Looking at the market here, where are we looking? It's an interleague game. Here it is. The money is hitting Detroit pretty heavily, it looks like. Cincinnati's at minus 108, 69% of the tickets on them, 85% of the cash on Detroit. So the money likes Detroit. I don't really disagree. I mean, again, the motivation to avoid the sweep, plus the better hitting, where, I think the starting pitching, I don't love the Montero matchup numbers, but you could make the argument the starting pitching is, it could be a duel, let's say. And then in the bullpens, I don't like Detroit in the bullpen, though. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. You could go first 5 with Detroit here, but I don't really know how much of an edge the starting pitching matchup really is for them. So, I don't know. Maybe if you play Detroit, you do go full game just because it's a motivated spot. I think I kind of like the first 5 under in this game kind of makes sense to me. I know it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. Montero, iffy matchup numbers, but he could do well here. He's pitching well this year. Lauder has pitched fine this year as well and is unfamiliar to Detroit. Full game total is at 9. I don't like the bullpens really, but first 5 under makes some sense to me. But we have 76% of tickets and 84% of the cash on the over. Obviously, it's a game I'm avoiding. I have one baseball play all day, man. So, and that's not it. Minnesota at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is trying to get a sweep here as well. And they actually won a series at Minnesota earlier this year as well. They won 2 out of 3 in that one. They've won 2 out of 3 in this series. Minnesota's offense has gone silent in this series, but maybe they'll show up to try to avoid the sweep. Like I said, I generally lean towards teams trying to avoid a sweep. Tampa Bay does have Cleveland next. I don't know if they're going to look ahead to that, but Cleveland is leading the Central Division right now in the AL. I still think Detroit's going to win that division, though. And it's not really a great division overall, but maybe Tampa will look ahead at this point and take Minnesota a little bit more lightly here. Bullpen usage, Tampa Bay used 3 guys yesterday. Minnesota also used 3. Both bullpens have struggled this year. Minnesota 27th in whip. Tampa has actually been starting to get a little bit better. Even though their bullpen ERA is worse, they're at 20th in whip now. Based on last year, I do think Tampa Bay probably does have a better bullpen than Minnesota. I don't like Minnesota's bullpen. Both offenses, I think, have kind of overperformed to start the season. Tampa is sitting 9th in OPS, though, so I don't know how real that really is, but they've hit pretty well this year. Minnesota has fallen to 18th. I guess probably you do give Tampa a little bit of a hitting edge here. I think they're generally the better team, but in a spot like this, I don't know, man. And they don't have one of their better pitchers on the mound here either, I don't think. Minnesota has Simeon Woods Richardson pitching. His numbers are not very good this year. 5.96 ERA, 1.56 whip, 13-10 strikeout walk ratio. That's not going to cut it. It's a really low strikeout rate in 25 2/3 innings, 30 hits allowed. That's too many hits. 5 home runs as well, 1 in every outing. not looking good, and he did face Tampa Bay, but he actually did well in that outing. But overall, he doesn't strike out many guys with the walk numbers too high. Based on what we've seen on him the last couple seasons, though, he definitely has pitched better than this the last couple of seasons. He's been an okay pitcher to have, last in your rotation or something like that. So I don't think he's quite this bad. His start against Tampa Bay was his best start of the season. Went 6 2/3, gave up 1 earned run in that outing, and then the bullpen failed him, and they lost that game anyway. So he might be able to pitch well against Tampa. 45 at bats against them, 8-3 strikeout walk ratio, 222 average allowed, and 671 OPS. Those numbers are pretty good, so he is definitely capable of pitching well here. Schultens is pitching for Tampa Bay. Jesse Schultens. I think he's a converted reliever. His numbers do look good. 2.93 ERA, 0.98 whip. I don't trust him, though. He's probably not going to go that deep into this game. He did have 2 scoreless outings to start this season. Against the Cubs, which is impressive. Against the White Sox, not so much. Then he gave up 5 earned runs last outing against Cincinnati, but 6-0 strikeout walk ratio was actually good. Overall, 13-3 is a pretty good ratio. 12 hits allowed in 15 1/3 innings. He's pitched effectively, but you look at his numbers over his career, he's only pitched a little bit in the majors, even though he's in his 30s. He was a starter for half the season for the White Sox in 2023. Things didn't go well, and then he was on Tampa last year very briefly. Things didn't go well. I don't really trust this guy. I just don't. Numbers against Minnesota are pretty bad, but very small sample size. Way too small to gauge anything, really. 8 at-bats, but they have a 500 average off him, 15-11 OPS, 1-3 strikeout walk ratio. Royce Lewis has a home run off him. Yeah, I think Woods Richardson, believe it or not, is actually probably the more trustworthy of these two guys, even though his numbers don't look that way. The money is hitting Tampa Bay. I don't agree with that. I think I would lean to Minnesota to try to avoid the sweep here. 72% of tickets, 97% of the cash coming in on Tampa, though. They're up from -125 to -147. They're the better team, like I said, but this is not a pitching matchup. I would not want to lay a price like that with Schultens on the mound. Getting a price like that, no thanks. Minnesota may be motivated to try to avoid the sweep. I would lean that way. Maybe still full game because both bullpens still kind of suck, so that might be what I would do. Mr. Pinsey, what's up? Thanks for hanging out. Yankees at Houston. Houston is also trying to avoid a sweep here. They've gotten blown out in the series. Houston's pitching is absolutely horrible. I believe I leaned over yesterday, and that did hit for anybody that wanted that. Houston might show up for this game. The question is, who are the Yankees playing next? Are they going to be looking ahead? They might overlook Houston anyway because they're on the verge of a sweep. They're playing Texas next. Texas, I think, is a pretty solid team. They're a good pitching team. They're leading their division in the AL West right now. So, yeah, I guess maybe it's possible the Yankees do overlook Houston here a bit and look ahead. Situation, I think, does favor Houston a little bit. The matchup doesn't really. Houston's absolutely awful bullpen. Used 5 guys yesterday. That's not good. They're probably eating 5 guys, to be honest, the way that they're pitching. Something is not going well over there. Yankees bullpen isn't really that good either, and they used 4 guys yesterday. But Houston's bullpen is horrible. They're the worst in whip and in ERA. Worst in the league. Horrible. Worst in Major League Baseball. Yankees are, okay. They're at 19th. Probably a little bit better than last year, let's say, in the bullpen. Both teams can hit. They're 4th and 5th, Astros, Yankees, respectively. Yankees probably do have the better offense, so Houston definitely has hit well this year. Luis Gil is pitching for the Yankees. He's been fine so far in a couple of starts. 4.11 ERA, 1.17 whip. His walks are always very concerning, though. His strikeout rate is down, too. He's a guy that usually strikes a lot of guys out and walks way too many guys. This year, his strikeout rate is down so far, so that is a concern. 9-8 strikeout walk ratio. 10 hits allowed in 15 1/3 innings is good, but the rest of these numbers, not great. And his only decent outing, really, was against the Red Sox. And the Red Sox have historically not been able to hit him, and their hitting has been awful this year. Heel does have good numbers against the Astros, too, though, in 28 at-bats, 13-3 strikeout-walk ratio, 179 average allowed, 472 OPS, so he might actually pitch well here. He is going up against Spencer Arrighetti, who has a 2.45 ERA. You might think that looks good, but 1.45 whip, that is definitely not good. He's walking too many guys. He's only made 2 starts so far. He's allowed only 3 runs in 11 innings, 8 hits. That's all good, and 13 strikeouts is good too, but 8 walks, 4 walks apiece, and those were games at home against Colorado and at Cleveland. Those are not super-powered offenses, man. And now he's having to go up against a good Yankee offense. Might not go too well. His numbers against the Yankees, very small sample size, 13 at-bats, but the numbers are not very good, except for the 6-1 strikeout-walk ratio, which is good. 308 batting average allowed, 1280 OPS. Stanton and Judge both have a home run off him. I can't do it. I can't back Houston here, man. I think they have the lesser of the starting pitchers. They have the lesser offense. They have the lesser, slightly. They have the lesser bullpen. The money is hitting the Yankees. I probably agree, even though situationally I like taking teams that are trying to avoid the sweep. I don't think I want to do it here. Yankees drop from -145 to -131. 79% of tickets, 94% of the cash on the Yankees. The matchup numbers seem to back it up a little bit too. I'd probably lean Yankees money line. Not on my card, though. And in fact, the next game is the one that is on my card, and we are going to take a team to avoid a sweep here. Because in this case, I think we actually are getting the better team at a pretty cheap price, trying to avoid the sweep with the better starting pitcher on the mound. We'll take Milwaukee -120 here, man, to finally get around and beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh having a good season so far, and they're on the verge of a sweep of Milwaukee. But I think Milwaukee's still the better team, and I think we're getting a little bit of a discount on the price here. I think they can get it done. Try to avoid the sweep here. This is the end of the road trip for Pittsburgh. They had a big win over Milwaukee yesterday. They won in extra innings. If you look at what happened in these 2 games, though, so they won in extra innings, which, that means it was a close game yesterday. So they won 6-3, but it could have gone either way. In the first game, why did they win? Oh, yeah, because Paul Skeens was pitching. Well, Paul Skeens is not pitching today, so I think Milwaukee might be getting a little bit overlooked here. Now, I'm not going to say Pittsburgh's going to overlook Milwaukee, but I think you're going to get a big effort out of Milwaukee, who I still think is the better team. Pittsburgh, they're not really going to look ahead to St. Louis, but I like that Milwaukee, I think, will be extra motivated here, and I like the matchup for them as well. Looking at the bullpen usage yesterday, Milwaukee, they did use 4 relief pitchers, but a couple of them for single-digit pitches. I'm not too concerned about that, even though they did use a couple of their better relievers. They did not use their closer the last couple of days, though, in Megill. Pittsburgh used more of their bullpen. They used 5 guys out of the bullpen. I think they used some of their high leverage arms, too, so I think we're okay with rolling with the bullpen here, even though Pittsburgh has had the better bullpen this year at 14th, but their ERA makes them look better than they are, 3.29, but with a 1.34 whip. Their bullpen is not as good as maybe it looks based on the ERA. The Brewers haven't been good, though, 1.48 whip, 4.21 ERA. But, I think the bullpens, there's not that much of a disparity between the two, so I'm going with the motivation. I think maybe the guys that had to pitch for Pittsburgh yesterday hurts their bullpen a little bit more here. Offensively, Pittsburgh has actually been the better offense at 15th, and the Brewers have been dealing with injuries, and they're way down at 26th, but I think you're going to see that gap get closed at some point. I do not think that the Pirates' offense is significantly better than the Brewers' offense. Even with the injuries, I think it's close. So I think we're fine there, but then we're looking at the starting pitching. Carmen Mlodzinski is pitching for the Pirates. His ERA looks good, 3.28, but his whip is 1.42. He has okay numbers throughout his career, but he's always kind of just been, I think, a last guy in the rotation type of guy so far, kind of a guy that can come out of the bullpen as well. I'm not too impressed by it. He's failed to go 5 innings in the majority of his outings, even though Pittsburgh won his first 4 outings. He did not have a good one in his last outing, and it was against Texas, who is not a great offense, and that was in Texas, a pitcher-friendly ballpark. He got knocked around a bit for 5 earned runs in that one in fewer than 5 innings. Still had 6 strikeouts and 2 walks, though. His strikeout-walk ratio is still not that good, though. He's walked multiple guys in every outing in April. 26-10 strikeout-walk ratio, more than 1 hit allowed per inning. Yeah, I mean, he's not horrible, but he's not a great pitcher, you know. I think we could definitely fade him, and Milwaukee has done okay against him. Not great, but okay. In 31 at-bats, a 7-6 strikeout-walk ratio. Again, a lot of walks. 290 batting average, that's pretty high. But they haven't hit him for power. In fact, no extra base hits, so they only have a 696 OPS against him. But I still think with the familiarity and the numbers here, I think we could fade him, especially because we're going to roll with Kyle Harrison, who is having a better season by a bit. 3.06 ERA, even though I know his whip at 1.3 is a little bit concerning. I agree. But he's at least kept his walks a little bit more limited. Walking multiple guys in only half of his outings. And yes, I know his last 2 outings he failed to go 5 innings. I know he was up against Washington and Detroit, who have had a couple of the better offenses in baseball, but he still actually did limit them, and they still won one of those games pretty easily because they had an offensive onslaught in one of the games behind him. Overall, I mean, he has more than 1 strikeout per inning, fewer than 1 hit allowed per inning, 18 strikeouts to 7 walks. The walks, yeah, they're a little bit high. 16 hits allowed in 17 2/3 innings, but I think Harrison's a pretty talented pitcher, man, and he throws lefty, so he's a little bit more difficult to pick up for hitters that haven't seen him before. Pirates, 6 of their guys have faced him before, but it's a small sample size, 16 at-bats, but they have 9 strikeouts against him, no walks, 188 average, and 438 OPS, so Harrison has pitched well against them in that limited sample size. He's allowed 1 extra base hit, though, a double from Mangum. But even so, I think Harrison does have the upper hand here. I think you're going to get a motivated Milwaukee team at home trying to avoid the sweep. Pretty cheap price, in my opinion, at minus 120. 75% of tickets, 94% of the cash on Milwaukee. Money seems to agree with me. This is my one baseball play of the day. Let's get it going, man, because I did not like the 2-2 yesterday. We're at 39, 17, and 4. Obviously, this is an unsustainable run, but I'm trying to do it, man. Trying to be selective. So, yes, we'll be on the Brewers here. But, you know, full disclosure, I feel like I don't love the plays that I have today. Washington at Chicago, White Sox. This game is really difficult to handicap. These teams have split the first 2 games of the series, so I think they will both show up to try to win the series here. The White Sox, unfortunately, did lose yesterday. We lost the first 5-inning play, and they wound up losing the game in the end as well. Washington, bad bullpen. Both these bullpens are bad. They used 5 relief pitchers. Is that what it is? No, 4, excuse me. My stroke brain, I don't know. It's like when I see characters like in a line or like a bunch of rows in a table, I can't like see how many of them there are anymore, man. I don't know. It's very weird. Hard to describe. White Sox used 4 relief pitchers yesterday as well. I think I got that right. But either way, both bullpens are bad. So they're definitely absolutely fade-worthy bullpens. Both are in the bottom several bullpens in like whip and ERA. I don't have to go into it too much. Offensively, Washington's hit pretty well. They're at 7th right now still. White Sox have been coming around a little bit, but they're still not a great offense. They're at 20th. Washington definitely does have the better hitting. Foster Griffin is pitching for Washington, and I did not expect much out of him, man, because he had not much of a major league track record. Coming into this season at 30 years old, that's usually not a good sign, but he's been pretty effective for them. 3.38 ERA, 1.2 whip. You can't really knock what he's done so far here. He's allowed 4 or fewer earned runs in every outing. Washington's won 4 of his 5 outings. He's faced the Dodgers in here. Actually did pretty well in that game, even though they lost. The bullpen actually lost the game in that one. Overall, 22-8 strikeout walk ratio. It is too many walks. It's not great, but not horrible. 5 home runs is kind of questionable. 24 hits allowed in 26 and 2/3 innings is not that bad, though. So, again, I don't think he's an excellent pitcher or anything, but he's definitely been better than you would expect. And he faced, Dodgers, Brewers, even though they have injuries. Phillies, although they haven't been hitting that well this year. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, who's been better than people expected. He has not faced the weakest offenses, and the White Sox are pretty weak, and they've never faced him before. So Griffin might actually have a little bit of an advantage here against them because they haven't seen him before. Brian Hudson is listed as the starter. I hate this fucking Firefox, dude. The split view, I fucking hate that shit. Hudson is a converted, or he's not even a converted reliever. He is a reliever. He's only going to pitch 1 inning here, man. He pitched 2 days ago and 2 days prior to that. So they're using him as an opener every other day. That's the state of the White Sox right now. I knew they were going to use Fedde behind him in the last game. Fedde won't pitch today, though, because he pitched basically a starter's workload in that game. So I have no idea who's going to pitch behind Hudson here. All we know is he's opening the game. He's going to go 1 inning, and then you're going to get some mess of Chicago's pitching behind him. That doesn't look good to me at all. So I think I have to lean to Washington here, but the money is not agreeing with me. The White Sox are at minus 116, 67% of tickets, 96% of the cash on the White Sox. I just don't see it, man. Again, I think Griffin, we've seen it, he's pitched decent this year, and again, he has the unfamiliarity edge, and we're getting a White Sox basically bullpen game here. And again, maybe I'm too old school because I don't like the bullpen games, but why would you when it's the White Sox bullpen or whatever the hell they're going to do in this game? I have no clue what they're going to do, but I don't like it. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to lean to Washington there, but I don't have that strong of an opinion on it. J-Main, what's up? Burke, is that right? Is he gonna come in after that? All right. Well, that makes me a little bit less. That makes me like Washington a little bit less, to be honest. If it is going to be Burke, he's pitched okay this year. I mean, he's not a great pitcher, but he's listed as their number 1 starter. Actually, Burke has a 4.1 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Yeah, you might be right. He last pitched on the 21st, so that I think would make sense as far as him being next up. He's done okay this year, though, so that would give me a little bit of hesitation. Washington is only 1 for 13 off him lifetime. That one hit is a home run from Lyle. 9-1 strikeout walk ratio, though. 0.77 average, 451 OPS. So, yeah, that's a good call, J-Man. If you're correct about that, then that does make it look a bit better for the White Sox if Burke is out there. He's not a great pitcher or anything, but it looks like he's got some matchup advantages there. He's pitched fine this year, so yeah, that makes me like that a bit less, man. So good call there. And the money is heavily coming in on the under in that game, even though when I first looked at that matchup, I was like, this game has over written all over it, man. Both bullpens suck. 62% of tickets on the over, 73% of the cash on the under, though. If I was going to go under in this game, it would have to be first 5 innings. And then you'll get Griffin, and then I guess Hudson might give you 1 okay inning, and then you get Burke, who might be okay. So that'll get you through the first 5. Under first 5 might make sense. I would not play the full game under, though, with those bullpens. Nats are unpredictable. There are certain spots where you could definitely jump in their games, but I would say I'm pretty sure the majority of times I've gone with a Washington game this year, it's been playing an over, probably. I would definitely not hesitate to play an over in a Washington game if the matchup is right. But this one, I don't want anything to do with it. All right, Seattle at St. Louis. I'm going to take a break at some point because we still have to get through the rest of these games. I already talked about both doubleheader games in Shea Stadium, Citi Field. Sorry, it's not Shea Stadium. It's Citi Field. I'm way too old. All right. Seattle at St. Louis. We did get the win with Seattle yesterday. We were able to dodge a horrible start from Woo yesterday. I don't know what that was because Seattle's hitting did exactly what we needed them to do in that game. The bullpen did well enough as well, but Woo was horrible in the game. I don't know what that was. St. Louis trying to avoid a sweep now, though. So they might have a little bit of extra motivation here, although St. Louis is not a good team, dude. I keep saying this. They're not as good as their record indicates. Seattle is not that good on the road. They're 3-8, but of course, 2 of those wins have come in this series. I don't really know that Seattle's going to look ahead to Minnesota next, so I don't know that Seattle, will get caught in a look-ahead spot here or anything like that. Bullpen-wise, Seattle has the better bullpen. Both bullpens got kind of used yesterday. Seattle used 4 guys. They have a couple of their better relievers available today, though. St. Louis does not have a good bullpen, and they use literally everybody out of their bullpen except Fernandez. So that is obviously not a good sign. They used 7 relievers yesterday. Seattle has the better bullpen anyway, and the more rested bullpen coming into this. So Seattle does have a bullpen edge. Right now they're 16th in WHIP. Their ERA is quite good, but we know that Seattle's bullpen is solid because they have some of the same guys they had last year, some of those better guys. St. Louis's bullpen is not good. They're at 23rd. Quite obviously, we have, I think, a pretty big bullpen edge for Seattle here. Seattle's offense maybe starting to come around a little bit. They're at 20th, although St. Louis is at 14th. But I don't think St. Louis has a significant offensive edge in this matchup. Starting pitching does look pretty good for Seattle as well. Emerson Hancock is pitching, and he looks like he's starting to take off, man. He's 26. He's not that old yet. Early parts of his career, he definitely struggled, but this year, he's got good numbers. 2.83 ERA, 0.87 WHIP, 28-4 strikeout walk ratio, 21 hits allowed in 28 2/3 innings. The only concern is the 5 home runs, but 3 of them just came in the last outing against the A's, and he allowed no other runs besides 3 solo home runs. I would give him more of a pass for that, though, if that was in the A's very hitter-friendly stadium. It was not. It was in Seattle. But either way, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every outing. All of his numbers look really good, actually. Really great command numbers there. Again, except for the home run numbers. He's been pretty unhittable. He looks good, dude. And St. Louis, the other STL, St. Louis is 0 for 6 with a strikeout against him. So they've had 5 guys have faced him before, and they don't have a hit off him or a walk. So he's done well against them in a limited sample size, and he's also unfamiliar to them. That looks good. He is going up against one of the more, capable pitchers that St. Louis has, Michael McGreevy. He's not a strikeout guy, but he has been pretty good this year. 3.29 ERA, 0.91 WHIP. I kind of expect those numbers to not stay where they are. But 15-5 strikeout walk ratio. The number of walks is low for sure. It's 27 1/3 innings and only 20 hits allowed. But he's allowed 4 home runs, so his home run number there is not that good. Again, he just doesn't strike that many guys out. The rest of his numbers look pretty good. He doesn't put a lot of guys on base. He's allowed 4 or fewer earned runs in all of his outings. His 2 home starts have been pretty good. Don't necessarily know if I really want to fade him. He's going up against Seattle. Of course, they have 17 at-bats against him, 3 strikeouts, no walks, no extra base hits, 235 average, 471 OPS. I lean Seattle slightly in this game. I think Seattle, the bullpen edge should help them, even though St. Louis should be extra motivated here, but Seattle's getting the money. They're at minus 132, 76% of tickets, 95% of the cash on them. I think they might have a slight starting pitching edge, but then they have a big bullpen edge, in my opinion, here. Hitting, I don't think is really big one way or the other. The money has also come in towards the over here, which I don't really... The only thing that I can understand about the over here is that the bullpens are pretty unrested. So if you want to go over in this game, you've got to go full game with it and take advantage of, especially of St. Louis's bad, unrested bullpen. But I think under first 5 innings makes some sense in this game, given what we have with the starting pitching matchup there. We have 72% of tickets and 96% of the cash on St. Louis. So what's an over game? Washington? I don't really necessarily agree with that. I mean, all the money is indicating very strongly on the under in that game. I would say, again, I think the first 5 under makes sense to me in that Washington White Sox game, given what we think we're going to get out of the pitching there. Which, maybe that would be a tone setter in that game. I don't want to go over in that game. If I did it, I would go full game, but I don't agree that it's a strong play or anything. You don't think the Nationals are going to get it done? I don't know. I mean, Griffin's been good, and the White Sox offense isn't good, and they haven't seen him before. So I don't know about that. I think he can do okay in that game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pushing back on the over because the market is certainly telling you to not do it. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I will fade the market in baseball, but that's not a game where I'm going to do it. Yeah, I don't know. That is a strong market read on the under, though. All right, what's next? A's in Texas. Yeah, Texas, these teams have split the first 2 games of the series, so big divisional series. Both teams should show up. These teams are tied atop the division, too. The A's only used 2 relief pitchers yesterday. Their bullpen is not very good, though. Texas used 4, but I think Texas still has the better bullpen, even with the slight rest disadvantage. Texas is second in bullpen whip right now. I think, again, I told you, it's them and San Diego, I think, are the top 2 bullpens. They both have pitcher-friendly stadiums they pitch in as well, and that's where we are here. The A's bullpen is not particularly good. They're at 21st in whip. Offensively, I think the A's do have the better offense. They're at 16th right now. Texas 19th in OPS, but I think the A's do have the better offense. JT Ginn is pitching for the A's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how trustworthy he really is. His numbers are pretty good this season so far. 3.74 ERA, 1.06 whip. Some of that was coming out of the bullpen, though. And, yeah, it is true that the A's have won all 5 games that he's appeared in this month. 1 or 2 of them came out of the bullpen, though. And I think, yeah, he's made like 3 starts, I think, since then. He's been serviceable. He's allowed 3 or fewer runs in all of them. He doesn't really go that deep. So, you're going to have to deal with the A's bullpen if you go full game on this. So, do act accordingly. But Ginn might get you through about 5 innings here. It seems like it basically has been what he's been able to do. Numbers against Texas are kind of all over the place in 48 at-bats. 6-8 strikeout walk ratio is not good, but Josh Smith, our libertarian friend, has 5 of those walks. So maybe those walks don't mean that much. He's held him to a 229 average, but a 964 OPS, because they do also have 5 home runs off of him that are pretty spread out. So I don't know if I really trust Ginn here. I don't know if I trust Kumar Rocker on the other side either. Rocker, I mean, he is starting to pitch a little bit better, it looks like. 3.48 ERA, 1.31 whip. Those are not horrible numbers here. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all of his outings, so that's not bad. Finally picked up a win. They finally won behind him. He pitched well against Pittsburgh in his last outing, better than I thought. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 earned run allowed, 4 hits, 6 innings at home. He's been better at home as well. His 2 worst starts both came on the road, but they were also kind of difficult environments. One was at that A's ballpark, and the other was against the Dodgers. So Rocker actually has been somewhat impressive this year, really. His numbers against the A's are awful, though. They have seen him a bit because he's pitching in their division. 33 at-bats, 7-5 strikeout walk ratio. 394 batting average allowed him, 1,049 OPS. The matchup numbers don't look good, so I worry a little bit about that. Some of that is him just facing the A's in the A's stadium in that last outing. So, maybe he'll do better, but it doesn't mean the A's are recently familiar with him, too. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage maybe there. But I think Ginn just faced Texas as well in that series, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did. He didn't do bad in that game, but he did walk 4 guys, so that wasn't that great. So both offenses do have a little bit of an edge in that they both saw these pitchers recently, but I don't know, man. Rocker, diving into the numbers, I don't like his matchup numbers, obviously, but I don't know. He seems like he's definitely the pitcher with more upside here, and the money seems to be backing Texas at minus 117, 66% of tickets, 93% of the cash on Texas. I think I'm going to agree. Even though I know Rocker has bad numbers against the A's, some of those numbers are in the A's stadium. He's better at home. He looks like he's better this year, so he might be coming into form where some of those numbers were him struggling earlier in his career. Ginn, I just don't really see much upside there because he's later into his career. Rocker is still a bit younger. Then, if you go Texas, you got to go full game because you want to take advantage of their bullpen. Even though they're a little bit less rested, I think you still want it. Yeah, I'm going to lean Texas slightly in that game. Josh Smith, yeah, he has enough kids to field an entire baseball team. Yeah, how many kids does he have now? He just hasn't. He had another one, or his wife is pregnant again right now. So I don't know. I can't keep track because he has grandkids as well. So I think he has. I want to say he has like 9 kids of his own, and then I think he has 2 or 3 grandkids. Maybe I'm lowballing that. I don't know. Yeah, shout out to him, the most virile man in existence, man. Besides maybe Antonio Cromartie and guys like that, but I prefer Josh Smith to all those guys. Josh Smith, good dude, by the way. I've had him stay at my house before. I've hung out with him on multiple occasions. Yeah, I like Josh. He's fun to hang out with too. If you go out with him, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Like his he'd be an excellent wingman, like going out with him because his charisma is like off the charts too. Yeah, I love that guy. All right, I'll be back in a second. Got to finish the show off here. Yep, inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. All right, we're back here. Let's finish off baseball here. Only have that one baseball play that I gave out. We have Miami and San Francisco. These teams split the first 2 games of the series as well, so I'm expecting both teams probably show up here. I think Miami might have like a big series up next, if I remember what I was looking at here. Let me see. Yeah, they're playing the Dodgers next, but I still think they're going to show up to try to win this series, though. San Francisco used 4 relief pitchers yesterday. Miami used 2. Both bullpens have been pretty good. I think San Francisco probably has the better bullpen. Their ERA is really good, one of the best. They're 8th in WHIP as well. Miami's 6th. But, the rest edge maybe helps Miami a little bit there. The bullpens are pretty comparable, I would say, right, in the state that they're currently in. As far as the offense, Miami surprisingly still up there. It's 7th in OPS. Giants have been a very weak offense. They're 2nd worst right now, so I'll give Miami a decent offensive edge here. Max Meyer pitching for Miami. He's a young guy with talent and hasn't really come around, and he's 27 now, but he's been okay this year. 3.96 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every one of his outings. Hasn't really gone deep into any of the outings, though. Like, he's mostly going around 5 innings in each one, which, might get you there or at least keep you in the game. 28-11 strikeout walk ratio. It is too many walks. 20 hits allowed in 25 innings. So the strikeout rate is good, more than one per inning. He's not been very hittable. The wildness is the main concern with him here. Against San Francisco, they really don't have much experience against him. They have 8 at-bats against him, but they're 5 for 8 between Adames and Arias. 2 doubles, 1 strikeout, no walks. I wouldn't put much weight into that. Like, he is unfamiliar to the rest of their hitters, so he might do okay here with that unfamiliarity edge behind him. But San Francisco has Landon Raup pitching, and he's still a guy nobody talks about. He's way under the radar because he's not flashy. He doesn't blow guys away with his fastball, but what he does do is throws these crazy like breaking pitches that are really hard to figure out. He's been really good this year. 2.28 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. We're happy with him on the show because I believe I gave out unders in his last 2 games and they both hit. So I'm happy about that. He's got a 31-12 strikeout walk ratio this year. That's not great, but it's pretty good. I mean, the walk numbers are just a little bit concerning because he walked 5 guys in his last outing against the Dodgers, but he one-hit them through 5 innings. And in fact, he's had 2 straight one-hit performances, so he's pretty difficult to hit. That's still impressive to do that against the Dodgers, man. 16 hits allowed in 27 2/3 innings. Hasn't allowed any home runs. He's definitely difficult to hit with this nasty breaking stuff that he throws. His one bad outing was hilariously against the Mets. It was at home, although, I'm not going to knock him much for, just an outing that looks like it was a fluke, and he had a 7-1 strikeout walk ratio in it. We got a pitcher-friendly park here. I think he might do fine here, and Miami is very unfamiliar with him. Only Stowers has faced him before, if that's how you pronounce his name. He came back from injury recently, but he's 0 for 1 off of Raup. Raup is very unfamiliar here. I like San Francisco slightly here. I like Raup, his current form, a little bit more than Meyer. And again, I think Raup, he's very unheralded, which I like when, like the hidden edge, if you want to call it that. San Francisco's at minus 127, 84% of tickets, 91% of the cash on them. I would not disagree with an under in this game either. The total is 7.5 juice to the over right now. It looks like it might even hit 8. You get 61% of tickets on the over, 55% of the cash, though, on the under. I'm going to lean under as well. I think maybe under is actually preferable to the side here because you got 2 bullpens that are pretty good this year, pitcher-friendly ballpark. Both starting pitchers have a lot of unfamiliarity here, although I worry a bit more about Meyer for the reasons that I already stated. So slightly into San Francisco. I think probably my preference is actually under in that game, though. That's how I look at it. All right. Josh Smith is running for Senate, I believe, out of Iowa. I mean, if he wins his primary, he's going to win, right? Because Iowa, like a Republican, is going to win that seat. He's got to win the primary. Raup, 10 strikeouts per 9. Yeah. Marlins are number 2 versus right-handed hitters. Raup is a lefty, right? Hold on. Am I wrong? I might be wrong about that. No, he is a righty. You're right. I don't know why I keep thinking he's a lefty. I don't know. I always think like these weird curveball pitchers are lefties. You're right. He's a righty. Maybe it's because his name is LR. I'm like, wait, which one is it? L or R? So the Marlins hit right-handed pitchers well. I still think Raup has a pretty decent edge in that one. Dirty Sock, what's up? Yes, I already talked about the Rockies doubleheader. They have to face Nolan McLean in the first game, so obviously I think the Mets are going to win the first game. The second game, I just don't have any real guess on what the hell is going to happen in the second game. We don't even know who the Rockies have pitching in that game. All right, we have San Diego and Arizona finishing off this Mexico City doubleheader, or not doubleheader, but 2-game event here. Yesterday's game was not as high scoring as I thought. It was only 6-4, so I apologize for that opinion there. But I told you it wasn't a strong opinion. It went way under the total, but we still have a very high total in this game. I don't know that it's necessarily justified here because San Diego actually has one of their better pitchers pitching in this one. So I don't know, man. As far as the bullpen usage yesterday, San Diego used 3 relievers yesterday. Arizona used 4, and I don't like Arizona's bullpen. San Diego's bullpen, I think, is the best in baseball. They're third in whip right now, but they're basically an elite bullpen. Arizona's sitting 4th in whip, but their ERA is almost 5, and again, based on the personnel they have, I don't buy Arizona's bullpen, so I think San Diego is definitely the better bullpen here. Hitting, yeah, I think Arizona does have the better offense. They're at 11th right now. San Diego still has struggled a bit. They're at 24th. Maybe they're not quite that bad. Worse than Arizona, though. But Michael King is pitching for San Diego. I think he's the better of the starting pitchers today. I think that's really not in question. 2.28 ERA, 1.12 whip. The walks are always the issue with King, man. He's gone 27 2/3 innings, 26 strikeouts. Usually he's a little bit better at the strikeouts than that, but the walks, 14. That's really the concern, man. He's only allowed 1 home run. He hasn't allowed that many fly balls this year, although he is kind of a fly ball pitcher, though, so you might have to worry about that a little bit in this stadium. But he's pitched pretty well this year. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in all but 1 outing. Again, the concern is walks, though. He's got to keep those walks under control somehow. Numbers against the Dbacks are good in 40 at-bats, 8-2 strikeout walk ratio, 200 batting average, 538 OPS allowed. So those numbers do look good. And he's going up against my absolute favorite, Ryan Nelson, who I keep saying this guy blows. I don't know I don't know how his numbers were that good last year. Don't know how they were good this year, but now they're not good. 6.97 ERA, 1.45 whip. But that's all because he just gave up 8 runs in a third of an inning against Toronto, which is skewing his numbers dramatically. But still, I don't think he's good. He's not going that deep into these games. He's got a 20-9 strikeout walk ratio, so still, the walk number is pretty bad. In 20 2/3 innings, he's now allowed 21 hits, so that unhittability that he kind of had earlier kind of went away there. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's not going to be this bad again. He's going to bounce back from that Toronto game, but he is an extreme fly ball pitcher. He's allowed more than double the fly balls than ground balls this year. So this does not look like a good environment for him to be pitching in. Against San Diego, his numbers are not that good. 115 at bats, 23-9 strikeout walk ratio, 287 batting average allowed, an 852 OPS. I don't trust Nelson here, man. I think I would lead San Diego if I was going to play this game. They're getting some of the money. It looks like they're at minus 129, 83% of the tickets, 97% of the cash on San Diego. I know they won yesterday, so yeah, maybe Arizona's going to put in an extra effort to try to not get swept in this Mexico City thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. Obviously I like King over Nelson. I mean, that's not really a question. The money is hitting the over in this game still, total at 15. I'm not so sure I would want to do it. San Diego pitched okay yesterday. Their bullpen is quite good. King, I mean, he's not that bad of a pitcher. I mean, maybe he struggles a little bit in this extreme high elevation here. Because if you missed it yesterday, the reason why the totals are so high in Mexico City is because they play at like a 10,000-foot elevation. So it's ridiculous. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, both these pitchers are used to pitching in the high elevation because they have to play in Colorado sometimes, so I don't know. But Ryan Nelson pitches in a more hitter-friendly park in Arizona than San Diego, which is a pitcher-friendly park. Ryan Nelson pitches in a hitter-friendly park. I might have misspoke there. Cubs and Dodgers, the biggest series over the weekend, man, and it's kind of lived up to the hype, I guess, as each team won 1 game so far. So this is the rubber match. Dodgers won 12-4 yesterday. I don't know, man. I told you I don't trust Colin Ray. So the Cubs used 2 relief pitchers yesterday, including Javier Assad, the dictator. Cubs bullpen is pretty solid, though, and they didn't use any of their better relievers because they got blown out yesterday. Dodgers used 4 relief pitchers. Cubs have the better bullpen and the more rested bullpen here. Cubs are 10th in bullpen whip right now. Dodgers, I know they're 9th, but their ERA is significantly worse. I think the Cubs do indeed have the better bullpen here. Both offenses have been good, and they're now 1-2 in OPS. The Cubs have been really hitting well recently. The Dodgers have hit well all season, pretty much. So, Dodgers are the best in baseball. But Shota Imanaga is pitching for the Cubs. I think he's their best starter. He's really good. 2.17 ERA, 0.72 WHIP, 32-6 strikeout walk ratio this year, and 15 hits in 29 innings. Yeah, that's good stuff. He's allowed, since his opening start where he allowed 4 earned runs to Washington, since then he's allowed 1 or 0 earned runs in every outing. He's obviously in good form right now, except for the fact that he somehow only had 1 strikeout last time out against Philly. Still held them to 1 earned run, though. Had a lot of ground balls in that game. Whatever, maybe a little bit of a blip. Numbers against the Dodgers are not too bad in 50 at-bats, 11-6 strikeout walk ratio. 240, that's not good. It's too many walks, but 240 batting average allowed. 761 OPS, it's a little bit high. He's allowed 3 home runs in here, but Imanaga's a very good pitcher, man. He's certainly capable of pitching well here against the Dodgers, especially with the Cubs maybe being in a little bit of a bounce back after yesterday. He's going up against Justin Wroblewski, who does have good numbers this year. There's no doubt about that. 1.88 ERA, 0.88 WHIP. I don't think this is sustainable, though. He's pitched well. The Dodgers have won his last 3 outings, but he's faced, no really good offenses. He faced Cleveland, didn't do well in that outing. Faced Toronto, who, they've been struggling to hit this year. The Mets, we know their struggles. And then Colorado, it was on the road, so give him credit for pitching in Coors Field, but the Cubs are clearly going to be by far the best offense that he's faced this year, so that might not be great. He does have good numbers against them, but only 2 of their hitters have ever faced him before. Bregman and Kelly are 0 for 5 combined off him with a walk and no strikeouts. Still, pretty clearly, I would say Imanaga has a pretty big edge, I think, over Wroblewski based on who these pitchers are. The money is coming in on the Dodgers. I don't really agree. I think this is a spot where the Cubs do have some advantages. Dodgers at minus 121, 82% of tickets, 95% of the cash on the Dodgers. The Republic side, it does look like they're getting the money right now. Yeah, I don't know. I lean to the Cubs slightly. I like Imanaga over Wroblewski. I think the Cubs have a bullpen edge as well. The total is sitting at 9. The money is hitting the under very strongly, and I probably do agree with that. 61% of the tickets on the over, 87% of the cash on the under. First 5 inning under might make more sense because you get the benefit of these 2 starting pitchers here. Both might match up okay here. I did say, Wroblewski, that he's pitched well enough that I think he does get undervalued in the market a little bit. Although, I like Imanaga as an underdog. It's pretty tough to pass up, though. So I think getting the Cubs with him on the mound as an underdog does make sense, but I also agree with an under. You could go full game because you do get the key number of 9. You could go under that. First 5 makes sense, too, to limit it to these starting pitchers. Then you don't have to deal with the Dodgers bullpen if you want to do it that way. I could see arguments for doing either way, though. Anaheim at Kansas City is the night game on Peacock for whatever reason. Kansas City is on the verge of a sweep, and they won 12-1 yesterday. Kansas City's offense comes out and explodes in a game. Looks like Urania did not do well in that game, and maybe Cole Reagans is actually starting to come back into form there. Kansas City, will they look ahead to the A's next? I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to overlook a home game in a Peacock night game, though. That's the thing. I do like to take teams that are trying to avoid a sweep, but maybe not here. That it's a big game to be hosting at night. It's a primetime game. I don't know that Kansas City's going to look ahead to the A's, even though they are, I think, tied in the lead for their division right now, the West Division, not Kansas City's division, obviously. But Anaheim might give you a little extra effort here. Anaheim's bullpen is bad, and they used 4 relief pitchers yesterday. Kansas City's bullpen has also been bad. They used 3 relief pitchers. But based on last year, I think Kansas City probably does have more room to improve their bullpen, but they've been really bad. Yesterday they weren't, but they're at. I think they must have gotten into the game yesterday a little bit, but it was a low pressure situation. They're up. They're at 28th in. Assuming they had a big lead at that point. I don't know. I haven't looked at the box score yet, but they're at 28th in bullpen whip, and their ERA I think is second worst in baseball. Obviously, that's bad. Anaheim's bullpen is not much better at 24th, but I don't know, man. I mean, if you wanted to argue that Kansas City has the better bullpen because they've underperformed this year, I wouldn't really disagree with you on that. Anaheim has had the better offense, but their offense is basically all or nothing. They're at 11th in OPS. They either hit home runs or they don't hit it at all. So I don't know. That's not really the type of offense that I love. Kansas City is at 23rd after yesterday's offensive outburst. They've moved up a little bit. Reed Detmers is pitching for Anaheim. He's having a pretty good season. 4.08 ERA is not great, but 1.08 whip indicates his ERA should probably be a little lower than that. 31-8 strikeout walk ratio. That is impressive. In 28 2/3 innings and only 23 hits allowed. So those numbers, they look good. He's actually pitching pretty well this year, even though Anaheim has lost 4 of his 5 outings, and the only one that they won was a really good outing he had against the Yankees. But he's been pretty good this year, even though he's allowed some runs in a couple of these outings here. He's actually been better on the road this year as well. 3.06 road ERA. I mean, it's still too small of a sample size to really read into that, but do with that what you want. Against Kansas City, his numbers aren't good, though. In 34 at-bats, 8-3 strikeout walk ratio, 294 average allowed, 940 OPS. So he might struggle in this matchup. Pasquantino is 3 for 5 with 2 home runs off him. So if you want to go hits plus runs plus RBIs prop. And he's also going up against Seth Lugo. You know, the guy that the advanced analytics guys hate, but his numbers continue to be good. 1.15 ERA, 0.93 whip. Obviously, that's not sustainable. I'm not going to try to argue that it is, but overall, his numbers are pretty good this year. 28-10 strikeout walk ratio. Yeah, it's too many walks. He's had a couple of walk-heavy outings, but he's not really that much of a strikeout guy. He's only given up 19 hits in 31 1/3 innings. He's not, so like talent-wise, yeah, Detmers has more talent, probably a higher ceiling for Detmers. Lugo is he's pretty consistent, man. He's given up 2 or fewer earned runs in every outing, even though Kansas City's lost his last 3 outings. Wasn't his fault. Giving up 2 earned runs combined over that span. They couldn't hit it at all. And then the other game, the bullpen was bad. Against Anaheim, he has pretty good numbers, really good numbers, actually. In 44 at-bats, 5 extra base hits allowed, sorry. A lot of doubles, but 11 strikeouts, 1 walk, 182 batting average allowed, 495 OPS. Yeah, I think I do prefer Lugo in the starting pitching matchup here. We got to handicap Tampa Bay, though, because they just changed their starting pitcher. Thanks, Tampa. I told you I didn't trust Schultens, though, so I don't know if my handicap is really going to change on that. The money is fading Kansas City here, though. They're at minus 115. Again, the professional bettors, they don't like Lugo, dude. 64% of tickets, 57% of the cash on KC, so the money is fading them. You know, I mean, Anaheim might put in an extra effort to try to avoid the sweep here. I don't know. I prefer Lugo over Detmers, though. That's for sure. I don't know. I think I kind of lean Kansas City a little bit based on that matchup. Maybe first 5 innings. I don't know. I mean, full game, I don't think there's that much of an advantage one way or the other in the bullpen. Under first 5 innings might make some sense, though, because Lugo has good matchup numbers. Both pitchers have been pitching well. So if you want to go based on current form, totals at 8.5, 61% of tickets, and 62 now, and 77% of the cash on the over. But obviously, if you go over, you're going to include these awful bullpens in that equation. I think under first 5 might make some sense in that game as well. All right, and then Tampa Bay changed their starting pitcher to Griffin Jax. So I don't know what that means. Like, Schultens probably wasn't going to give you a deep outing here, but I don't know what we're even like. What What is Jax going to give us here, man? Because he's also a relief pitcher. His numbers suck this year. 8 ERA, 1.89 whip. He's gone basically one inning every time he's come out for the most part. So he's probably going to be an opener, give you one inning, and they might use Schultens behind that. I don't know. I don't think my handicap really changes there. If anything, that makes me like Minnesota maybe a little bit more than I did. I leaned Minnesota before, even though the money is not agreeing with me there. I'm going to still agree with Minnesota. I would prefer Woods Richardson over whatever the hell Tampa's doing, even though I know Tampa were kind of the pioneers of the bullpen game back with Joe Madden back in the day. But anyway, my only play in baseball is the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's finish this show off here, man. Show off. We have 4 playoff games in hockey and in basketball to try to get through here. Hockey, the afternoon games are on TNT, True TV, HBO Max, and the other 2 are on ESPN. I'm going to have one play here and hope I choose the right game. That's all I got to say here, man. You know what? I don't know, because I haven't actually made a bet or anything. Maybe I want to pull my play off the board because the money is just not agreeing with me. Like, I thought that I would have a play today, but I don't really want to force it. Fuck. I like my NBA play. I like a lot, and I already bet it actually. But I don't know. I have more confidence in the NBA, just despite what I did yesterday. I do my NHL hockey playoffs have been good, but you know what? I think I will not give out my play in hockey. It's not going to be a play. I haven't bet it yet anyway, so I'm going to pull it off the board. I hate this, so I haven't had a hockey play for a while, but I don't love it, man. Yeah, I don't know. Looking at what's upcoming, I don't know when I'm going to have another play, but Buffalo at Boston is the first game up. Obviously, I have to root for the Bruins as a Bruins fan. Now, the Bruins are down 2-1. The Bruins could be a lean here, man, in this game because you look at what happened in the last game. The Bruins are really good at home, 29-11-1 at home. Sabres have been okay on the road, 24-13-4, but you want to play the Bruins at home, most likely, when they're playing. And if you look at what happened in this game, it was pretty close. And then there was an empty net goal at the end. Bruins wound up losing 3-1. You look at the stats. I mean, it was a pretty close game. All the stats were, I guess, slightly in favor of Buffalo, but it was a close game. Bruins are good at home. I do think the Bruins are going to come out with fire here. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be that easy for Buffalo to win both games in Boston. Bruins, I think, still typically are the more physical team. They have more playoff experience. They have a more experienced goalie in environments like this. I'm going to lean to the Bruins here. I'm not being biased with it because I am a Bruins fan, but I do think the Bruins are the side to look at here. They're at minus 110, 53% of tickets, 56% of the cash, and we can hope, because my bracket is looking pretty bad right now with a lot of my teams being down 1-2, including the Bruins, but I only have them winning this one series. All right, Colorado at LA. Yeah, I mean, Colorado clearly the better team in this series. LA might be the worst team that made the playoffs. They're also really bad at home. LA was 15-17-9 at home. That is not what you want. Maybe they do show up here, though, man. Colorado, this could be a game that Colorado kind of overlooks a little bit. Like I said with the two, although I had a heavier opinion on the wrong one yesterday. I liked Ottawa yesterday. I leaned Pittsburgh as well, and they won. But I thought Ottawa was the stronger one because they were at home, and I thought they had a little bit of a better matchup against Carolina than Pittsburgh does against Philadelphia. But anyway, teams that are down 3-0 in the NHL, they don't behave like teams down 3-0 in NBA, because 3-0 in NBA, like, it's over. It's never been overcome before, although the Celtics could have done it, being a home favorite in that Game 7 against the Heat, and Jason Tatum got hurt a couple years ago. I'm not happy about that. Celtics would have been in the finals. Probably would have lost to Denver, but you never know. I think it was Denver that year. Anyway, but yes, the teams that are down 3-0 in hockey, they do actually show up. Hockey is just a different beast, man. These teams do not lie down. And you saw Ottawa, Carolina. That was a psycho game yesterday. Like, Ottawa leveled that really hard hit. I think they probably concussed, I forget who it was on Carolina, but a bunch of fights broke out in that game. It was crazy. This is hockey, dude. It's why hockey is the best sport. I'm sorry, but it is. It's the most manly out of the main four sports. So maybe LA shows up with some fire here. It might be a spot where maybe Colorado just does overlook them a little bit, but I don't really want to deal with that, man. You get LA as a big underdog here, but they're horrible at home. They're clearly the worst of these two teams. I don't know. The money is hitting Colorado a little bit at minus 170. 73% of tickets, 84% of the cash on them. The money is kind of indicating on the under in both of these games, by the way, even though a 3-0 game, I think an over makes a little bit more sense because that team that's up 3-0 usually lets down a little bit defensively. Money is indicating on the under in every one of these games except Edmonton, Anaheim. What else is new? The game where the series where neither team can play defense. Anyway, the money's coming in on Colorado. I slightly disagree with it. Maybe it's a spot where you take a shot with like making your own +1 puck line on the Kings. I don't want to do it though. In the last two games though, these are my stronger opinions and the market is disagreeing with both. If I was going to have any play, it would be on Tampa Bay. And yes, I don't want to be influenced by the fact that I picked Tampa Bay to win the championship, but they've been the better team in the series, dude. I know they're down 2-1 in the series. Every game has gone into overtime. And Tampa Bay, if you look at the stats, they were better in each of the first two games, and I know those were both home games. But Tampa Bay, had more shots, more physicality, although they lost the face-off battle, I guess, in the first game. But the games have been close statistically, and yes, Montreal was a little bit better in the last game, but they still had to take it to overtime to win the game. I still think Tampa Bay, better team. They're the more experienced team. Montreal's very young and still not used to this. Tampa Bay has the better goalie in Vasilevsky, and he has not been bad in this series. So, again, Montreal, every game has had to go into overtime so far. And, yeah, I don't know, man. When it gets to these games where it just becomes higher and higher pressure, I like the better team, and that's Tampa Bay. I'm going to lean Tampa Bay. Money is not agreeing with me. 62% of tickets, 57% of the cash on them. That worries me because I think this is my strongest of the opinions here. Tampa Bay at minus 113. I like it. It has been a bit of a close series, but again, I don't know, man. I think the better team can overcome this. And yeah, Tampa, I know they have some home games left. Still, the team down 2-1 is going to be a little bit more motivated. And when it's the better team losing the series, I do like that, which also means I do lean to Edmonton in this game against Anaheim. But this one I'm a little bit less bullish on because Tampa Bay has actually been a good road team, 24-12-5 on the road. Montreal pretty good at home, 24-15-2. But Tampa Bay road record, they could definitely win on the road. Edmonton, Anaheim is not really like that. Edmonton, 19-16-6 on the road. They're not a good road team. Anaheim is much better at home, 24-13-4. So that does worry me a little bit, even though I lean Edmonton here. Edmonton's lost 2 games in a row, but Edmonton has really struggled on the defensive side. Their goaltending is an absolute mess. I know I picked them to win this series in my bracket because they are the favorite to win it. They are the better team here, but it's not looking great for them right now. And if you look at the box score in this game, they got outplayed in this game. I know Anaheim had an empty net goal at the end. I know the game was close. It was within 1 goal coming into the final minutes there, but Anaheim won this game. They had way more shots by 15, which is pretty surprising. They were a little bit more physical, too, winning the hits and the face-off battle. So, I don't know. I'm going to lean Edmonton because they are the better team. They're the more experienced team. It does matter when you get deeper into these series, but the money's disagreeing. 53% of tickets and 52% of the cash on Edmonton and minus 135. This is another really high total, 7. You never see 7 in the playoffs, dude. That's how bad Edmonton's goaltending and defense is. Anaheim's is really not that good either. So, yeah, it definitely could be another high-scoring game. This series has been out of control high-scoring so far. And with a quick turnaround time, the rest isn't really there for the defenses to really play that well here. Yeah, I'm going to lean Edmonton, but I don't love it by any means. I'm staying away from hockey, unfortunately. I think looking at the market right now, maybe the strongest lean would actually be the Bruins at this point. I don't know, man. I don't like it at all. I'm going to give out an NBA play, though, which I do like. Let's get into it. It is the first game up. So we're going to have an afternoon NBA game. The first 2 games are on ESPN. The other games are NBC Peacock. This game I like. I like this one a lot. And I already bet this at 3.5. There might still be 3.5s lingering around, but you might have to pay extra juice for it. We're playing the Cleveland Cavs. It's a situation where you get the better team off of a very misleading and very ugly-looking loss. You're going to get a bounce back here. Cleveland's going to win this game easily, dude. I'm pretty confident in this one. I know my NBA playoffs, I think I'm only like 4-3, which I don't love. In hockey, I think I'm only 1-1-1. I've been treading lightly, and it hasn't gone that well. But NBA, I don't love that I lost that one yesterday, obviously, but we were 2-0 the previous night in the NBA, so we're sticking to it. We're zigzagging. That's the name of the game here. You might have to lay 4 now. Unfortunately, we were not there to get the 2.5, but there might still be some 3.5s lingering around. I'd probably still lay the 4 at this point. I know the line was 3 in the previous game, so the books know about the zigzag. So they know that these better teams will come out with a bit more intensity in the next game after they lose. But losing 1 point of value hopefully is not going to matter, even though I know it is kind of in that key range in basketball. But I think Cleveland can run away with this thing. They're the way better team, dude. 70% of tickets, 81% of the cash on the Cavs, so the money is agreeing with me. And if you look at what happened in this game, Toronto won the game by 22. But if you look at what happened in this game, that is not indicative of what happened in this game at all. Cleveland shot 57% from the field, 61% from 3. Toronto did. Toronto shot insanely. That's not going to happen again, dude. And I know Toronto was bad from the free throw line, 57%. Yes, that should improve a little bit, but the rest of these numbers were unbelievable outliers, dude. They're not going to shoot 57% from the field again. They're not going to shoot 61% from 3, Toronto. They're not even a good shooting team, really. There's just no way that's going to happen again. Even though they did shoot well in game 1 of the series as well and lost the game by double digits still. So that's also not a good sign. Cleveland didn't shoot well from three-point range, 31%. Maybe some room for improvement there. And Cleveland was awful in the turnover department. They were minus 10 in turnovers, and you know the better team could definitely clean that up, even though the Celtics didn't totally do it in their last game. But, yeah, that is a huge turnover disparity, 22-12. Cleveland's going to clean that up, and that was part of the reason why they lost. They won the rebound battle. Toronto does not have answers in the paint, dude, to Allen and Mobley here for Cleveland. Toronto does not. I don't think they have any chance to win this game in the paint. So, yeah, that all indicates on Cleveland. Cleveland winning the rebound battle indicates they were kind of the better team in this game. And if you look at the game flow, Cleveland basically just completely lost it in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were tied in the game early in the fourth quarter, I think. And then they just went completely silent and, like, didn't score for, I don't even know what this was, like a 6-minute span, 5-minute span. Cleveland didn't score basically at all. Yeah, that's not going to happen again. None of this is going to happen again. Toronto's not even really that good at home. 24-17 at home. Cleveland 25-16. Yeah, we're going to take the better team off a misleading blowout loss to bounce back here. I think this is clearly the strongest play on the board. Cavs minus the points. That's what we're doing in that one. All right. San Antonio at Portland on ESPN in the afternoon here. We got the win with San Antonio in the last game, man, and I told you I liked it. San Antonio bouncing back from losing at home as a double-digit favorite. San Antonio putting in extra effort without Wemby. And yes, it did take the fourth quarter to start pulling away, or third quarter and fourth quarter. San Antonio was able to pull away, though, and make it a pretty easy win and cover. Now the question is, are they going to be able to do that again here? I don't know, man, because they're a 5-point favorite here, down from 5.5, and they were 2.5 in the last game, and it dropped to 1.5 when Wemby was ruled out. So you know what it means if there's a 5-point line here. That means Wemby is probably playing in this game, although if it's officially announced, it'll probably go up to 6. But I'm going to lean against the Spurs in this one because, you know, I always talk about the injured player theory. We played on that in the previous game, but I think the reverse injured player theory would be the way to look in this game because when that star player comes back, the team might be like, hey, we won easily without you. And, you just, even though it's the playoffs, you're up 2-1, you just won without Wemby, you just might take your mind out of it a little bit mentally. You know what I mean? There's just like a little bit of a mental letdown. The book tends to overreact a little bit to it. So I think I would lean to the Blazers plus the points in this one. It looks like 67% of tickets, 68% of the cash on the Spurs right now. Not a huge cash disparity there. By the way, as far as the totals, the money is coming in on the under in both of these games. Cavs, Raptors, and Spurs, Blazers. The total's right around 219, 220 in both of them. I don't have a good read on the total in either game. Of course, you could definitely argue the Raptors are going to have the biggest regression out of any of these teams from what they shot in the previous game. So under maybe makes some sense in that regard. Maybe Raptors under their team total makes sense in that game too. They're not going to score 120 again, I'll tell you that. But yeah, Spurs, Blazers, my lean would be to the Blazers plus the points, but I think it looks like Wemby is coming back. He's not actually injured, of course. He hit his face on the ground in game 2 and didn't play the majority of that game. Had to go into concussion protocol, so it's a matter of getting cleared by doctors. I think it looks like he is probably playing, though. Boston Celtics at Philadelphia. Celtics really did not have a good game plan, man. Like, we got a little bit lucky to get that cover. They were winning the whole game, and they were the better team in this game against Philadelphia, but they had the better rebound. They were better in the rebound department. They won the rebound battle by 8. They led 3/4 of the game, whatever, but the Celtics had too many turnovers again. They were -6 in turnovers. I don't love that the Celtics hit 23s and still almost lost the game. That's not great. 43%, although the Celtics, they're typically going to shoot probably about 38% from three-point range, maybe even better. I mean, they shoot well. That's what they do. But, I thought they would do better in this game. I don't know what they were doing, dude, because they were just trying to ISO Tatum and Brown for most of the game, and they got away with the win, and they were the better team in the game. They still dominated in the paint, which you expect with Embiid not playing here. And I don't think Embiid is coming back, but I guess I have to look and make sure of that. But the Celtics won anyway. And, this is a Joe Mazzulla Celtics team, man. And when the Celtics don't play well, a lot of times they will change what they're doing and they play better in the next game. So I kind of like the Celtics again in this game. They're laying about the same price, 7.5. It went up to 9.5 in the last game. And at least I got the play out early in the morning there. So, and I bet it at 7. So, beating the number there, man, made all the difference in that game. 60% of tickets, 70% of the cash. Money coming in towards the under in this game as well for what that's worth at 213.5. The Celtics play a slow pace. They're a half-court style team, so under kind of makes sense in that regard. I'm going to lean slightly to laying the points with the Celtics here, but I don't have a good opinion on this. Obviously, as a Celtics fan, I hope they win, and I hope they win more easily. But again, what they were doing was stupid in the previous game, and it almost seemed kind of un-Celtic-like, un-Mazzulla-like, because the Celtics, dude, when they're at their best, like they're ball distributing all over the place, right? Like everybody trusts everybody. They have a deep team. Like you could trust the other guys on this team. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Like White has not been really participating in the offense too much, and when the Celtics won the championship and whatever, White was definitely a guy you could rely on as like that third scorer there. They need that back. I don't know what they're doing. I know he's a great defensive player, and that continues, but you need other scoring options, man, even though you do have your big two. But yeah, I'm complaining. I'm a little bit worried about what the Celtics look like. Anyway, then we have Lakers and Houston. I mean, this is just pathetic for Houston. Actually, hold on. Let me make sure that Embiid's not coming back. Fuck you, Firefox. I hate this, with the split view being the next menu option down. I'm going to try to, hack Firefox and mess around with it. Let me see here. Where's the injury report here? Oh, there it is. Embiid is a game-time decision. Hold on. He's coming back. Yeah, he's listed as doubtful, so it looks like, he's not playing in this game. The line would also have moved probably a little bit towards Philly if he was going to play. You'd probably see the Celtics 5.5, 6 maybe if he was going to play, so I don't know. Embiid possibly coming back from having his appendix out, but I have no idea if he will. But anyway, Lakers-Houston. Houston's got to fire Udoka, man. I mean, this is just pathetic. I know Houston doesn't have a point guard, but how can you be favored in every game of the series and lose every game, including a game where you're winning by 6 in the final minute of that game at home there? They were like almost a 10-point favorite in the game. They had a 6-point lead in the final minute, and they wound up losing the game in overtime. This is pathetic. I mean, I think this is more Houston absolutely playing like total ass and having no ability to score. And somehow their defense isn't even playing well, which their defense has been their saving grace this year. And their defense is not even stopping guys like Luke Kennard. I don't know what is going on in this series, man. Yeah, I mean, it's pathetic. Houston's going to have to make some huge changes here because this should have been a long series. Like if they lost this series in 6 or 7 games, that would probably be acceptable at least, as you know, especially if the Lakers start getting players back. But to lose the series like this and potentially get swept, I mean, what the fuck are you doing, dude? The Lakers shot ridiculously in the first 2 games of the series, which I thought, you know, those were both major outliers. Rockets, you know, in the third game, probably should have won the game. The Lakers did not shoot the lights out in this game. And again, the Rockets had more possessions again, except, you know, they didn't have as many trips to the line. But the Rockets have had more field goal attempts in every game in the series by 27, 17, and 19. Like, what is going... If you have almost 20 more field goal attempts than your opponent, you're basically not going to lose that game. And the Rockets have lost all 3 games despite doing that. It's just completely insane. The Rockets have won the rebound battle, I think, in all 3 games. This is just, it's all ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. You know, I don't even know what else to say about it. But the Rockets are only laying 4.5 here now. And I'm still going to lean that way, even though the way they lost the last game was brutal. But this is their last chance, man. They're the favorite. They can't go out like this. And they've been based on what I just showed you, they've been the better team in every game in the series based on how many shot attempts they've had and whatever. So this has been one of the weirdest series I've ever seen. I don't want to play the game because it could be very defeating the way the Rockets lost that game. But the Lakers are a dreaded public underdog here. 67% of tickets, 66% of the cash on them. The total is crazy low at 207.5. Money still hitting the under in this game, too. I mean, basically, it's because the Rockets can't score, but I don't think I would want to try to go under that number. I would not want to do that. I know the last game was higher scoring because it went into overtime, but I would probably lay it with the Rockets to try to avoid the sweep. I mean, the last game, they were almost a 10-point favorite, and now they're 4.5. I think they were actually down to about 8, 7.5, but still. 4.5, that probably does indicate the Lakers are getting Reeves back in this game, though. Luka is not coming back yet, even though I thought he would be the first one of the 2 to come back because it seemed like he was already ready. But it might be smart that the Lakers are resting him, but again, do you really want your reverse injured player spot with Luka coming back to be against the Thunder? Probably not. So I don't know, man. Assuming the Thunder finish off their series against the Suns, which I think will happen. Reeves is questionable, and based on this number, I think Reeves is probably coming back. But then the question is, you know, you're in a 3-0 series. Like, do you think the Lakers are really going to play him that much? I think Reeves might come into this game off the bench and not play that much because it's what the smart thing to do is get him used to the game again. You know what I mean? In a spot where you don't really need to win the game, get him used to it, and then work his way back in, you know what I mean? Because it's your reverse injured player spot here. So if that's the case, the line definitely is overreacting to that. So it might be a reverse injured player spot here. I think there is some line value on the Rockets at that number being that low. So I'm going to lean that way, but I do not want to touch it. I thought game 2 was a good spot. Rockets statistically probably should have been able to get that game, and it still didn't happen. So that's it, man. That's the show for today. The plays one more time. We've only got 2. I'm sorry, but I got to be selective here. We got the Brewers on the money line in baseball, avoiding the sweep. And then we got the Cavs. I like this one a lot, minus the points in the NBA. NBA playoffs, have been one of my strongest, it's like my strongest betting season or one of them. So that's what we're doing here. I would like to have more hockey plays. I just, I'm looking for like outlier games where there were like blowouts and stuff like that, and you just don't get them as much in hockey. But hopefully we'll get back to it and we'll have some more hockey, or those like 2-0 returning home types of things, whatever. Hopefully we'll have more. We'll see what happens. That's going to do it. Learn to Toad on Twitter. Learn to Toad on Instagram. Like, subscribe to the channel here. We're losing subscribers, man. I don't know what's going on. I'm here every day giving out some good info. Like, let's get people back on this train, man. Let's get up to 500 first and then go from there, man. So tell everybody about it. We're on audio, Apple, Spotify. Listening there helps me out. Reviewing helps me out over there as well. Covered in Uke is my Uke channel on YouTube. I know I got to get more stuff going on there. I haven't done much of it lately. Patreon.com/LearnToToad. I got to pay more attention to that. And then Losercast every Tuesday night. G-Spot Giants podcast that I do, which we might have to do a draft recap. I'll probably talk to Ben about that to see if we're going to do that. Maybe get Adam Nutter to come over and join us for that. And I believe that is it. That's going to do it. I'm going to have some lunch soon as well. Thanks, everybody. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Everybody in the chat, Mr. Pinsey, Dirty Sock, J-Main, Josh, whoever else is in here, Kyle, Hindian. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Was Tyson in here today? I don't think he was, but hopefully I got everybody there. Yes, sir. All right. Thanks, everybody. Peace.